Hey guys, how's it going? Matt from Foulball Productions here. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you're doing well because I'm doing phenomenally. Thank you very much. This is the 50th, count it, 50th episode of the MFer Podcast. Typically, if you were doing a weekly show, you'd get to this number of 50 within a year. I didn't quite stay to that pace, but you know what? We're here. We're here, and we're here to celebrate America and Election Day, which is tomorrow. So get out there. Go do the right thing. Go vote for Daddy Day. Yeah. Welcome in, guys. Welcome in. Just a reminder, this podcast is streaming on Rumble as well as Twitter. It is also available wherever you get podcasts, so feel free to head on over there, get the audio of edition, which will be out tomorrow, and give me a 5-star review while you're there. Love ya. Zaxx, hello, sir.
Hello, what's up? Happy American Freedom Eve.
Hell yeah. I love it. I'm pumped. I'm here for it. Let's go.
Thank you, people who've come over from that I've forced over here.
Yes, that's wonderful. Thank you very much for that that nudge, that raid.
Heavily
I appreciate
edited
it.
clip. Yeah.
Yeah. How do you
Happy
feel
to be
about
here.
my get-up today? Do you like my look?
I think that I have maybe the better shirt
Maybe.
this one time, but
It's more
yeah.
appropriate for the time. Let me just take a sip of my delicious beverage here.
Do it. Wow,
Good stuff.
that's all American.
It is, brother. It's
What is
actually
it?
kind of funny. It actually is an American company called Mighty Swell. It's a hard seltzer.
That's
Delicious.
gay.
I know. People always make fun of me for my hard seltzers, but I don't know what's gay about getting loaded while keeping a flat stomach. I think it's pretty cool, but whatever.
I like that stomach. You got that can. You got that Raptor, the fancy special Raptor parked behind your
Yes.
place in Texas. All the
Yes.
boys know where to go.
I did want to address something because we talked about it on your show. I said that I was
Yeah.
going to have a sketch out today. I didn't. So what happened was I did film it. I have these really long video files because I just roll through the whole thing and then flip the camera around and just do it again. And the files were 45 minutes long each, and they got kind of corrupted. So I didn't have to reshoot everything, but I did have to reprocess them with a program called Handbrake, and that took all Sunday. So I didn't have time to edit. I've been editing all day. Hopefully it'll be out tomorrow, but sadly, I overpromised and could not deliver my sketch this morning. Apologize for all you who were waiting.
That sounds like both of your political parties, really.
Both of them? What's
Yeah.
that? Overpromising and underdelivering?
Yeah, yeah. Also, the whole American worth that, where it's I'll just do it another day, right?
It's true,
Huh?
but it does offer the opportunity for those who have that hustle grind mentality to go
True.
right to the top. So there's that as well.
Yeah. Where's Nick?
Nick will be here along shortly. He had a scheduling conflict of a personal matter, which, it's up to him if he wants to talk about it. It's not like it's a big deal. It's just personal. But he will be here. He said it about a half hour, probably 8:30 was the estimate. So he'll be here. But in the meantime, I got you, buddy. I'm glad you're
You got
here.
me.
Let's see who's in
I'm
the
here
chat
too.
here. Looks like we got some new people. Got Nosferatu. Hello. What's going on, brother? Jamalama. Big Ship was good. Cotton Ministries. Sentient Dildo, as always. What's up, my dude? The lovely Sherry. Hello, Sherry. Are quite lovely. Cotton, Papa Cotton, also known as Wook. Mac Maton stand up for his shitty podcast. I get what's going on. Listen, this isn't stand up, okay? This is patriotism. This is I love my country. Okay, I hope that that's not offensive to snowflake like you, Papa. I actually am going to a stand-up show tomorrow, the night of the election, which I thought was kind of funny. I'm just like, I'll find out what happens later. There are so many live streams that are going to be happening tomorrow. Have you picked one, Zaxx? That was
I
directed at
picked
you.
one what?
To watch. There's going to be like 500.
Mm.
I always feel almost overwhelmed. Like
I'm
everyone's
going to be
doing it.
on one tomorrow night.
Yeah. You're going to be
With,
on one, son. I'm going to be on one, too. Let's go, Trump. Oh, sorry.
Where's yours?
Where's mine? My
Where you gonna be
my
tomorrow?
live stream? Oh, it's a comedy show called the Creek in the Cave. It's a comedy venue in Austin. I'll just be going to see a show.
Cool. I'm going to be hanging out with Leon over on his Words of Paradise channel with some other Canadians, for whatever reason, you guys want to know what we have to say, which no one here does. So it's nice to be wanted. and yeah, some other people. It's going to be a great show over there on the panel. Leon, Words of Paradise. Be there tomorrow.
Hell yeah, be there.
Yeah.
Be there or be square. The Wake Down. What's up, Rob? How you doing, brother? I'm gonna laugh if they strike you for that song. It was copyright free. That's why I downloaded it. So I used that one. So should be good. Should be okay. Home of the slave, land of the re. Cinch and Dildo. You know, you're so saucy. You're always so saucy. You know, I'm no longer blue. I feel all right. Well, I don't know if I'm read every single chat. You guys are wonderful, wonderful people. But yeah. How's your day, Zaxx? How you doing?
My day was good. I caught up on some of the issues of today.
Oh, really?
With the whole thing tomorrow. People are like pretty concerned about this election, like it might be important or something for you guys tomorrow.
I noticed that. And I have been seeing some of the most unhinged meltdowns. I think even more than the past 2 years. Like there was this video, and I swear I couldn't find it. I was looking all over for it. I saw it on Twitter, and even the Boys Cast covered it today. But it was this guy, like full on being like, if Trump gets elected again, okay, listen, everyone you know who's an immigrant, you just say they've been here their entire life. If you know someone who's trans, no, you don't. They're not trans now. Anyone who's non-Christian, you don't say a word about it. I was just like, they're not. Like they really think when he gets in, Fourth Reich, you know, like we're going full on fascism, kicking out people, rounding them up into camps. I've never seen so much cope and meltdown in my life.
No, it's embarrassing, and really, what it looks like is the talking points where they're saying a lot with what they want to do, and they're projecting it to him, and obviously it's not true. It didn't happen. He's been president before.
He was already president for 4 years. And then there were like riots in the streets, you know, mostly made of like minorities and liberals, and he didn't take out the fucking tanks then.
Maybe he should have.
It would have been efficient. But it's like if there was ever an opportunity for a fascist to show his fascism, that would have been it, and he didn't do it. So stop.
You're not so we get it. Okay. Wake Down is rubbing in. He's not subbed to my channel. You could do it. It wouldn't hurt you.
Yeah,
Wake Down.
You should.
Wouldn't hurt your Rob. You should do it. In Canada, we had the thing where when the French get uppity, then we call them the tanks. So it's happened before. It may happen again. And like Trudeau Jr., the Castro figure in the country, he was the one who used it against the truckers, which was,
Indeed he did.
It actually finished off his career as a politician doing that. But his dad, Pierre, did the same thing to the French. And
now that I don't have as much of a problem with.
It was super based. And when people asked him questions about it, he gave them these. Like, so.
Let's go. Was it the Montreal French, the Quebecois?
It was mostly Quebec City, but Montreal was involved in it too. But it was they wanted to separate. They kidnapped some of our politicians.
Really? Wow. It was like straight up terrorism.
We sent the tanks in. Yeah.
That's pretty dope.
Sure did. Yeah.
Yeah, those people,
we only have 4 tanks. We only have 4 tanks.
And they were from World War II, but they do still shoot. The whole Quebec Montreal thing is just get over yourselves. What is this whole? What are you holding on to so desperately?
I'm frozen. It looks like.
No, you're back. It looks like you're a little delayed. You got that Canadian Wi-Fi or whatever.
Yeah, I do. I have the Trudeau Wi-Fi. He hates
Trudeau
me.
Wi-Fi.
And I've been running one thing. I was running checks on my computer to see like what's going on. What is there anything else I can fix to make this? Because I keep buffering all the time. I want to host a show, and it's impossible because the video I want to play may not ever play. And
that's frustrating.
So today I've been diagnosis, and I thought it was better, and apparently it's not. So it's Trudeau. Confirmed.
Is it like? Are you limited on like what your internet provider can be up there? Oh
no, on paper everything looks good. Even running checks, everything looks good. I have 1 gig Wi-Fi, so it should be okay. But
that's too bad. Can you hardwire? I know we're getting technical and probably pretty boring for everybody, but
it is. Porn is fine though, so that's the important part.
Really what matters.
Yeah.
Apparently when Trump gets in, there will be no porn, and you will no longer be able to masturbate in this new Trump America. So,
did you guys? Did Texas ban Pornhub? Is that true?
No, but you do have to age verify, which is a little annoying.
What do you do?
There's different ways to do it. Not that I know. That's what I've heard.
From other people.
Obviously, I'm a Christian. I wouldn't do stuff like that. But
right.
But apparently what you have to do is you there's like different apps. So there's like one that'll age verify based on like your face. Like it'll just sort of like guess roughly how old you are, which I'm like, I don't know how that could be flawless. But, you know, what if it's like a 20-year-old or, you know, a 17-year-old with a thick beard, but whatever. And then you can also upload your license. And they claim that they'll immediately delete it. But it's this whole thing you have to go through.
On.
And in a way, it does kind of make you think about it. You're kind of like, what am I doing? I'm uploading my license so I can jerk off. Like, it just, what is happening here?
They're forcing you to look at your own picture. Like, this is me.
To think.
And they're like, can't wait to do this.
Yeah,
and
think it through. Yeah.
There's other options, too, you could get. But I was just curious because, like, ID-wise.
But there's so many sites.
Voting is fine.
There's so many sites where you don't have to do that. It's just like the major ones.
But what if a black person wants to go on Pornhub? Then they can't.
Oh my God! I didn't think about how racist that is. Good point, Zaxx.
Right.
You know, we always need that Canadian perspective to remind us to check our privilege.
Yeah. Please do.
Yeah, I often try to. All right, let me ask you. I got a bunch of articles that are related to what we are talking about today with the election. Just 12 hours away, which is pretty wild. Honestly, like, I can't even believe it's here. You know,
we did it.
Just like the buildup, the craziness that has been going on, like in this country, you know, you go all the way back to like the pandemic, and then, you know, January, all the riots, and then January 6th, and then like the stealing, and then, you know, all the just bullshit over the past few years, Biden falling up the stairs, and the Trump getting shot at, and, you know, Peanut the squirrel. Like, the fact that we're actually here on the precipice of the election is actually kind of insane.
I hope that the deciding issue in this is Peanut the squirrel. I hope that's what puts people over the edge, because Trump does seem way more concerned about Peanut than Kamala is. And I think, like, if you really dig into that case, you look and you see Fred the raccoon, right? I think he was involved in this because
the forgotten victim of this story.
You cannot trust raccoons. You can't trust them. They have thumbs.
They're
right?
dressed like burglars.
Yeah. You don't trust them. They're up to no good. And so I think he wanted some of that attention Peanut was getting. And so he dropped a dime on his bro. And he thought, I'll get out of this fine. And no, not when you're in New York, you don't.
No, exactly. No snitching. You go up north. That's what they say.
Do it.
Did you know that they are an OnlyFans couple?
I did not.
Apparently, that's part of the tale. And there was an article out today on TMZ that said perhaps that raid was not necessarily about Peanut, but maybe about pornography, which I don't quite understand why the state still would raid your house for pornography from consenting adults. But that is what they said. I thought that was kind of interesting.
That is super interesting. We should look into that story more right now.
Yes, let's do it.
We should get photos if possible.
Well, that girl, I mean, I was telling you on Saturday, like, that guy kind of annoys me. You know what I mean? Like, the state should not be doing that. His squirrel should not have been shot. But, you know, he's always walking around with his shirt off and, like you know, kind of Speedo-y underwear, like, where the camera's, like, right at his bulge. I'm like, this guy sucks. I hate this guy.
But you would do that, though. You would do that. The same thing.
No, I wouldn't.
I mean, you've made shirtless movies, right?
That's different. You know, that's art. You know, I'm expressing, the human condition, you know, through my artistic medium, my instrument, if you will, of being a performing actor. So that's a completely different situation.
Would you call that a tool or an instrument?
Well, in the theater world, we call it your instrument, which isn't pretentious, okay? I want to make that clear. That isn't pretentious to refer to your body as an instrument. Everyone else has a body, but actors, we have instruments. Ugh. God. All right, so yeah, this is, I don't know what the source is, and I just briefly looked over this article, but it is pretty interesting. Peanut the squirrel, God. Damn it. Sources think authorities were after porn, not animals. The agencies that raided a New York farm seized Peanut the squirrel were actually there because some officials had a problem with porn. That's what some sources connected to the drama believe. Oh, so this is just speculation. That doesn't mean anything. There's literally no substantiating evidence for this whatsoever. Just someone was like, I bet it was about porn.
They didn't like porn, and so they raided the house and took the squirrel and the raccoon?
Right.
Okay.
If that was, why would they use the department of, like, the department that does that that does the animal thing when they use like the cops.
And if it was about porn, you'd think like these people may not be that smart, but you'd think they'd be smart enough to like not go so public with this if maybe it was about porn and not the squirrel.
Yeah, and either way, the squirrel was killed.
Yeah, well,
So whether it was about porn or not, you still don't have to kill someone's squirrel and the raccoon. It's pretty crazy.
but we haven't seen the body, have we?
That's true. Maybe it's like an Osama bin Laden situation. Maybe we're just taking their word for it, and actually it's a big cover-up.
Don't trust the government.
I don't. I sure don't. But I trust OnlyFans actors and squirrels. As reported, the New York State Department, got a search warrant, came up. But here's the deal. Mark tells TMZ when officials showed up, they asked questions that had nothing to do with the animals. Mark said one of the first questions is, do you have cameras in your house?
I heard that, yeah.
All right, well, whatever.
Pouring a drink. Sorry, guys. Pouring a drink.
That's okay. That still doesn't mean anything to do. This seems telling because Mark and his wife are big on OnlyFans that have done porn on the platform. Mark and his wife also babysit for some of their neighbors' children. Oh, and some of the sources we've spoken with think the reference to cameras is evidence that XXX-rated material was on the minds of officials. This is the most speculative article I've ever read. It's just like, could be. They did say cameras. Porn is shot with cameras. Put two and two together, folks.
That's true. But here's the thing, though. Like, there's cameras in his house. We know that because they must have seen that on TikTok or whatever this guy's on with the squirrels, like, candid moments. Like, it's tough to rehearse squirrels to make candid moments. So you think you have to have cameras going at some point to catch the squirrel jumping on your back and being cute.
Yeah,
right?
it's like a
so
content
they would have
house,
cameras.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And everyone has a camera. I mean, everyone's got cameras. Like, it's just a really crazy question. I have a Ring camera. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean I should get raided by the cops? I was thinking about that, actually, though. Like, if someone came in my house and killed my cats, like, I would be so murderous. Like, I'd probably get arrested for, like, assault and battery on, like, a, you know what I mean? Like, an official. Because I was just like, yeah, what would I do? I'd freak the fuck out, and I would, like, attack them. He had this squirrel for 7 years. That's about as long as I've had Luke. That's hard. It's really horrible what they did.
I don't know how you, like, he didn't know what was going on, but you must have had some clue, like, when they asked you about, do you have a squirrel?
It's one of the weirdest stories. It just, like, came up out of nowhere. And, like, then, the right jumped on it. And rightfully so, because it's exactly what they've been talking about, the overreach of government. And, it's one of the wildest. I mean, the amount of crazy stories, that's what I'm talking about. Just the buildup. I know they always say that, but this is seriously the craziest election that I could even fathom.
I like that he doesn't skip arm day.
Dude's jacked. I'll give him that. Dude is jacked. The chick's pretty
His
hot.
tight shirts are on point. Jana wants to know if we can find your shirtless movie. He played a gigolo in this film.
No. That's not what she said. She said, Zaxx, can you reenact Matt's shirtless movie? And I think that's a very valid question, quite frankly.
I only need a copy of your movie, so I can properly rehearse.
Oh, that's right. It was the one where I played the male prostitute. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I actually kind of forgot about that. Yeah. And the table one. You could do the table one, I think. I bet you're pretty
table one is
flexible.
easy. I can do the table one right now.
Yeah, there you go. You do yoga. You got nice flexibility.
No.
I'm far more. I wouldn't be. I don't know if I'd be able to do that today. I don't even think I can move like that anymore.
A few drinks, you might be surprised.
You got to be properly motivated.
That's right. What's up, Brahma?
Yeah. Brahma Bull. What's up, dog? Can we bring back Matt's? Oh, I hated that. I hated that you guys found that. Well, you guys, Rob, Wake Down, found that. I was so upset. That was really annoying. And there's nothing I can do. I can't take it down because I didn't host it. It's just on some blog. I don't know if it still comes up if you Google me. I don't even know why I'm talking about this. And actually, it doesn't. Don't even bother.
Why.
No. Oh, you still have it. You suck. You suck, Brahma. I was young. I didn't know. I was trying to make it entertainment.
It was an accident.
How many times have you said that, huh, Matt?
Yep. If only you had a Weinstein, you'd be a star.
I'd be a big star.
Yeah.
I'd have to do some things I probably wouldn't be able to live with myself to do, but
who doesn't?
Big star. Big star. Who doesn't?
Do you think those men, those cops, if they were police, who broke into that guy's house to steal a squirrel, do you think they felt good about their job that day or good about themselves? Probably not.
I don't know.
Made very little money to do it. But if you went to meet a Harvey,
that's a good point.
You might be rich and famous as a result, and you could make videos like Harrison Ford saying you should vote for this person.
Yeah, I've always been told like this is kind of a shitty or sexist take. Mostly by women have told me this, but I never quite understood. It was like, okay, yeah, it's not cool that you should have to sleep with people to make it in entertainment. That's not cool. I
No.
agree. That's not a good system. It's pretty manipulative and dark.
Sure.
However, you had a choice. You know what I mean? You could have just stayed a waitress and kept all your integrity, but instead, like I said, not right, not a good thing. But instead, you became a giant TV star and you make millions of dollars a year. Now, I'm just saying, in the scale of trade-offs, I have slept with people that I regretted. I looked back and really wish I didn't do that, and kind of shudder at the thought of it. I didn't get shit out of that. If I got a career and millions of dollars, I think that's not the worst deal in the world. I just have bad memories.
I mean, really, and like this is going to go dark, and it's a political show. We don't maybe go too dark, but there's like a question that they work through people with on certain types of trainings when they discuss like victims and this is very loud right now, and that there's a difference between what you would accept for in order to have sex with someone, and then what you would then do if you were, say, Cosby'd, and if you were offered the money, the dollar value
Very
dropped
different.
significantly because, and the theory is, and I don't know if this is true or not, because thankfully it's never happened to me or anyone close to me that I know of, and if it has, keep it to yourself. But it's consent. It's the consent that is what the price is. That's what you're paying for. The act itself is also shitty, but it's the consent is what really puts it over the top.
Yeah, I mean, if you're violating a person, like, no, fuck you. Like, you're a scumbag piece of shit. But if you're leveraging your power, like it's bad. I don't think you should do that. I think that's really shitty, and I kind of would like someone to, just give them a little UFC to the ribs. But you had a choice. You could have just been like, no, I'm not doing that, and then you could have just gone back to your day job. You wouldn't be a star, but you wouldn't have had to go through that either, It's kind of like, I think you wanted the stardom more than you wanted your integrity.
I mean, there's probably some gray area in there, right?
Probably some gray area, yeah.
But yeah,
Probably being a little harsh.
it is a, well, no, I mean, not necessarily, but it's we should be able to discuss it anyway, even if we're completely wrong, right?
Yeah, I agree. I concur. Yeah. But it is sleazy. I wonder what it's like in Hollywood now. I haven't been there for years now, and but I wonder what the vibe is. I wonder if it, because it was very girl powery when I was there. I wonder, as the progression has changed, I wonder if it's what it's like. Not that I would ever really want to spend any more time back there, but I am, curious. Red shirt, hello. Good to see you, sir. Good to see you, my friend.
If you don't agree with whatever I'm saying tonight too on this channel, just please report Matt and not me.
Listen, Zaxx's channel could probably handle more reporting than mine could. You know what I mean?
Don't
Like,
do
you
it.
don't want to beat up on the little guy. Okay, Zaxx has got 20 some odd thousand. You know what I mean? So
The vibe is Diddy-esque, yeah, true.
the vibe is definitely Diddy-esque, and it's not cool. Don't get me wrong. It's definitely not cool. But there's some choice there. You had some choice. Regret? Hey, we all got them. But Okay, here's an interesting story that is. So I got a bunch of stories pulled up because just in case, always be prepared. This is vaguely related. Not really. It's just political. But so this is something that I learned today, reading the news. Fascinating. So San Francisco's mass transit, like their, what's it called, like light rail and stuff like that, and subways and whatever,
Yeah.
are run with a system that uses floppy disks. Like, and not even like the floppy disks of like the 90s that were like hard. I'm talking 80s style floppy
No, come on
disks.
now.
I swear to God, look.
Holy shit.
Is that not crazy? Dude, that is too old for me, and I'm going to be 40 next year. I barely ever interacted with those. That's one of the biggest cities in the country.
Good luck finding something that you can actually plug that into and have it work.
Oh,
Apparently
no.
you have to go to the transit.
My
system.
dad's trolling us.
Yeah, your
He's
dad
saying,
is.
"Let's go, Kamala." You know what I got to say about that, Dad? I say, let's make America great again, huh? Let's go.
Nice. I like it. Who's president right now?
That's a good question. I don't know. it's allegedly Joseph R. Biden, but I don't believe
think
that
that
is
it
the
is.
case. No. Did Joe Rogan officially endorse Trump? Oh, I didn't. Not that that matters, but that is interesting. I think we all kind of figured that, right? Because didn't he say he liked RFK, and then RFK went with the ticket, and then he had on the guy? I don't really care about endorsements. Not Jill Stein. Oof, Jill Stein. I think I voted for Jill Stein in 2016 as a rebellion vote. Not that I was a fan of Jill Stein. I just didn't believe Trump was like a real candidate. I thought it was all like a big psyop to like the plot of the producers. To just get like the worst candidate possible, so that Hillary would have a nice, easy, smooth way in. And then when he won, I was like, oh wow, I did not see that coming.
Nobody did. That was hilarious. Loved it.
Yeah, that was insane. And then I didn't realize I liked Trump until I was looking at my Facebook feed, and everyone who ever, accused me of mansplaining or, like bigoted white male, all that stuff was having an absolute meltdown. And I was just like, I think I like this guy.
He gets the right response from the people you don't like.
He pisses off all the right people, and that's a good sign, I say. But yeah, so this is a real thing. So I guess San Francisco decided they can upgrade the infrastructure of their mass transit, but literally floppy disks.
Yeah. Okay. To what though?
Probably CD-ROMs.
Wow, what a leap!
I know.
Yeah. But in San Fran, don't they give cell phones to homeless people and illegal immigrants?
Yeah. Yeah, they do. They have so many social programs. They have trans youth, like social outreach and all this money. Yet they couldn't spend $212 million to overhaul their, 98, so 36-year-old infrastructure. Like, you don't need to change the trains or whatever, just the software, the hardware, floppy disks.
You'd think.
Wow. Could you imagine getting a job in the San Francisco transit department, oh, this is really cool, and then they break out like an Apple II, and that's what you gotta program in, millions of people's lives are relying on this ancient technology.
There's no way, dude. They hire people who are non-binary, who have no computer skills, and they make them go and they give all the work to a Milton type character that they've got, like an Office Space. He's in the basement somewhere, and only he knows how to use the system. And in his mind, he has the real power.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, I think so. Lots of lattes upstairs and Milton downstairs. That's what I feel.
Yeah, right. Sentient Dildo is saying that he says Matt voting for Trump to piss off his dad confirmed. I actually think it's the other way around. I think he's voting for Kamala to piss me off. That's what I think's happening. Yeah. Go ahead.
No, go with this story. Sorry, go on.
Oh, no. I mean, I don't think there's anything more to it. It was literally just that. It's just an insane, ancient, dated technology run on we had a computer lab when I was in third grade. We used to play Oregon Trail on that. So that was 95, 93, and we didn't have floppy disks then. We had the hard disks. So this is mind blowing to me.
I mean, yeah, Oregon Trail though, fun game.
Great game. Absolutely. Now I'm getting roasted by my dad in the chat.
Yeah, your dad's taking you apart here. Pretty good.
Yeah, I don't like this, Dad. I don't like how politics is tearing families apart.
No.
I accept the fact that you have horrible taste in presidents. Why can't you accept the fact I have horrible taste in football teams? That's not cool.
And the Jets, they won somehow, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Yes.
On paper.
3-6 or whatever.
Hey, it's not nothing, right? It's an upgrade.
They did technically win. I mean, you're not wrong. Technically, that is a W on paper.
I got doom-pilled a bit today by
did you?
Elon Musk on
Tell
Rogan.
me about that.
Yeah, he was explaining how fucked you guys are, in detail and very slowly in that sort of Elon Musk style where everything he says is a fact because the way he says it makes you want to believe it. And fuck, I believe it. So you guys are in real trouble because Kamala wins. then they're already fast tracking 11 million illegal immigrants to citizenship. And if that happens, they're all been shipped to swing states, which means they're not swing states anymore. And you guys are done. Now the entire country will be California, where it's a uniparty. And they'll keep increasing the immigration to those areas to make sure that they got that sealed cap. And that's what happened in California, and now the rest of the country. So I feel pretty like bad about that for you guys, but good for me because as a Canadian, I'm already there. So I already know what it's like, and then you guys can kind of identify with me more, right? And it's about me after all, in the end.
We can all be, collectively cucked by the globalists.
Yeah.
the new world liberal order. We can all be, all of our lives can be equally destroyed by it. Yeah, I think that's tight.
I heard that what they're gonna do is immigrants as they're crossing the border, and especially in Texas, they can come to your house and you have to give them your guns.
They can try.
I mean, you have no choice. I mean, unless you want to be racist, Matt. I don't know.
I mean, I got 17 round mags with hollow points. Let's see how they fare.
True, Dildo. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
What did he say? Pretending it's not a uniparty country already is cute. Well, that's what the man's trying to change, Sentient Dildo. That's why we got the X-Men up there. That's why we got Donnie T, Tulsi G, RFK, Elon, Ron Paul. Did you hear that?
Whoa, he's on Trump's team?
Yeah, they were talking about like potentially because the what happened was J.D. Vance went on Rogan, talked about he's like I'm not really a Ron Paul guy, but there was like some things I'm warming up to, so on and so forth. And then Ron Paul I think like tweeted Elon, and they started talking, and then they're like talking about having him like in the cabinet, and then libertarian Twitter was losing their minds. They were pretty excited about that potential reality. Which I was like, that's a crazy ticket. Like, that's the best ticket I've ever heard of.
Yeah.
Even when I was like jazzed for Obama in 2008, like it was just Obama. Like I wasn't like into anyone
the better
else,
looking ticket if you had to pick. Like if you had to bang a ticket.
Ooh, well.
Which ticket would it be?
Is it the party or the ticket? Because if it's the party, the left has AOC, and she's as annoying as she is. I don't know. I mean, are there really
either
any
Kamala and that Walls guy, or
Kamala,
or Trump and Vance? You had to pick one side. What would you do? One night.
Oof. Oh, one night?
Yep.
Dude, you wouldn't stick it to Kamala. I would, just for the story. That would rule.
I'm with you.
That would be amazing, just to have that's a reality. That's something I did, That would be pretty sick.
Wouldn't it be a bigger story to say you did that with Trump?
Nah, I wouldn't disrespect the king like that.
He might tell everyone anyway.
Nah, listen, man, that guy is a powerful man, okay? And I respect him. I honor that man.
He's a professional pussy grabber. Yeah, Jan is into that.
Let's go. Exactly. Oh, she would. Jana would, yeah. The orange, you'd have a nice little orange smear as a memento.
We got
Tulsi over AOC.
Here.
That's
Tulsi over AOC all day.
Yeah, that's true. Way, way better. Yeah, that's true. Tulsi is hot. I like Tulsi. She's also like base as hell. She's like smart and like, really articulate and like a veteran and all that. She's cool. I think it's like anyone who's not a NPC, like not like a just, whatever they tell me. And you see someone who's like a lifelong Democrat who like is a pro universal healthcare type person, who got kicked out of her party for challenging, even the American people agree that Hillary Clinton's like a demon, and she switches sides. Like, does that not tell you anything? Does that not indicate that, like the left, the Democratic Party is nothing? Like they're masquerading as caring about people. It's a mask they use to commit evil.
That's true. Tulsi Gabbard too. She's like, if you were going to create a woman in a lab, she might come out looking and acting a lot like her. Because it's like the thing where people say, "Well, I wish I was gay because I could hang out with a buddy all day, do cool shit, and then we bang," right? And that's like how it'd be fun to be gay. I'm not gay. Sorry, dudes. it's so Tulsi, she surfs, she's jacked, she's in the military, she kicks ass, and then she's hot. It's there's like
And she's smart.
She's a unicorn almost.
Yeah.
And she's
cool as
smart.
hell.
She's perfect. She's yeah. That's a lucky one. 1 in a million, I think there. Billion maybe.
Yeah. And like when I listen to her, I'm like, hell yeah, like I agree with what you're saying. Like you have very reasonable takes. Like, her whole stance, like being a veteran, with the foreign wars and how destructive they are and how evil they are. She's, very like, I don't want to see that happen anymore. I don't want to see our country investing these hundreds of billions of dollars, trillions of dollars in these unwinnable wars that are just murder factories so that defense contractors and Halliburton and stuff make all this money. It's like, yeah, that's a reasonable position. And if you're on the left, I don't know how you disagree with that.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Anyway.
She'd be the kind of girl that you'd say like, hey, well, do you want to play Madden? And she'd say, Madden's done. And you're like, wow.
Yeah, she'd probably want to play like NHL or something like that. You're like, oh, wow, you are cool.
That's right.
Yeah, Janet Banana says, dude, even I would bang Tulsi. God bless America. God bless America. Apparently when Trump gets elected, that'll be illegal and you'll be rounded up into a camp for even saying that out loud. That's what I hear.
In the chat, you've got Timescales is here. He's a good dude. He's very much a lefty-ish.
Hey.
Yeah, but he's like very reasonable. He was in the chat last time I had Probable on and had a good back and forth, but very respectful. And I'd like to get those opinions. And as a Canadian, I'm probably left of all of you, really, whether I want it or not. Here I am.
Yeah, no, my best friend is extremely left wing. It's very annoying, to be completely honest, but I love him. You know what I mean? He's like my best buddy. But his like politics and his takes and stuff like that. And his like, it's not even like he is a really smart and well-read guy, and he does like kind of challenge me on stuff where I have to be like, I don't actually have an answer for you. I think I'm right. I know I'm right somewhere. I don't have the evidence or the education to prove it, but in my heart, I feel correct. But wait, where was I going with that? Oh yeah, but it's just like, having like just a friend with like different politics like that. It's it's a good thing. It's beneficial, but I also just see like these tremendous blind spots in his brain where I'm just like, you are not acknowledging this elephant in the room, man. Like, it's just like, it's like, but I guess we all do that, right?
I mean,
we all have
we do. And so you just got to figure out what topics to let go. And it's tough right now. Like really it's all anyone is talking about, probably anywhere.
I know. I just want
and
it
it's
to be
so
over.
contentious, and people are so sure of their decision that there's not really a conversation to be had. And like the idea that like the celebrities are coming out and telling you who to vote for, it's just not gonna. This is not gonna help anyone. It's not gonna help you or your career. I hope they're paying you well, but like no one who would listen to you already doesn't think the same thing. So it's
that's
not
the thing.
time.
Like when Trump, when Rogan endorses Trump, it's kind of just like, cool. It doesn't affect me one way or the other. Like, hopefully it'll get some more votes for Trump. But I would like to believe most people don't really base their opinions on that. Like, just a single endorsement would sway them. I'd like to think that most people aren't like that. Even the cooked-ass leftist dude.
Like with Rogan, it's much more important that he's put out this information the way that he has and sort of push back against what people have wanted him to do for so long, that the information is out there that you don't need him to say vote for this person. He's already given you enough information that if you believe him, you're going to vote for that person.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of like it's a collective, right? Like it's like someone's like, okay, like I like Sargon of Akkad, like Carl Benjamin. I think he's really smart. And he's a very like learned and like studious individual, and his like endorsement kind of gives me more confidence, like in my, not his endorsement, like his point of view. But you know what I mean? So then you have like this aggregate of like all these people that I respect and think are intelligent and not like purchased, not captured, opinions. They're real, authentic opinions where they analyze a lot of factors and this is what they believe is the truth. And it's like a lot of those people share the opinion with me. I'd still do it probably because this is what I think, but it's like, it definitely does feel better when you're like, all right, like I'm not crazy. Like I'm not just like losing my mind. Like I haven't, because it's like We're all susceptible to being lied to. Like, I believed Obama. I believed Obama was like everything he said. I really thought he was going to be like the antidote to
True.
like the Bush years. I thought he was going to stop the wars, Guantanamo, like all the, cronyism, get rid of all that stuff. And he was literally more of the same, even worse because he got a Nobel Peace Prize and masqueraded as like this, great guy. And it's like, he's just super charming, man. He's Bush all over.
I think, yeah, and he really was. And people, even up here, he was very much appreciated. But we get some weird political stuff up here that connects to you guys where, like, there was people here with, we support Fauci signs on their lawns in Canada.
Wow.
It was super, like, kind of surreal. And a lot of that for me, all that stuff, and especially the George Floyd coverage stuff with the it was like, that was that completely pushed me away from all of the mainstream
there were
shit
like
because it was
BLM riots in countries where there aren't really any black people.
Sure,
like,
exactly.
What are you rioting over? It's not even nothing to do with you at all.
Yeah, and I think we were lied to so hard, so often by the media that like most people have shifted, I think, to at least think more critically. Even like generally you talk about stuff with like your older relatives and they're kind of based into CNN or maybe unfortunately MSNBC.
Oh,
and even
forget it.
Even them,
the old man in the chat and my mom, both repeating the talking points, repeating the corporate talking points. I'm like, guys, they still think January 6th was real.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're going to get those people, and unfortunately, sometimes they're your parents. And do you have any siblings?
I have a younger sister.
Okay. What's their will look like? Do you know?
I don't know. There's grandkids involved now with my sister, so I'm probably getting cut right out, man. Probably going right to them. They love those kids. It's crazy. It's crazy. Are you a father, Zaxx?
I am.
You are, yeah.
Two boys.
2 boys, right on. Well, I think I've never seen anything quite like it. When my mom and dad, got along my childhood, but weren't really cool. Now they hang out on the holidays and shit. I'm like the first time I went back, when I shouldn't say her name, but my niece was born. She they were like, my mom's like, oh, we're going over to dad's for Christmas. I'm like, we are? What? What are you talking about? But that kid brought everyone together in a way I didn't even know was possible. Yeah, it's actually pretty amazing. So I was like, oh, wow. There's a thing to this whole procreating, grandparents. Okay, I get it. See, Dad, the conservatives are right about some stuff, family values.
And I agree with your sister, too, because the name Magnet is a great name for a baby.
Her name's not Magnet. Okay. But I figured probably should just, not talk about it. Let me see here. There was something I wanted to address. Oh, 2 things. I think it was Cotton said RFK swayed votes. Yes, but he's a politician, right? He's not a celebrity endorsement. He's a politician, kind of. And like him being on the ticket and being part of the administration is different because then you're voting for that, right? You think that is the right, okay, that guy will do the things that I want him to do. It's not like it's Cheryl Hines saying, I think Trump's cool. I'd be like, that's rad. I don't care. Good. Nice to see a Hollywood voice saying something like that, but I don't give a shit.
The guy who plays from Chuck, what's his name? Zachary Levi.
So this is the timescale saying something like that. Yes, Zachary Levi, based as hell. Good for him. Being, probably never going to see another Shazam movie now. Nope. He's saying, I'm from San Francisco, and I personally don't care for Kamala. I just want women to have the right to decide what happens with their own bodies. This is one of those weird takes where it's like the right, like Trump's administration is not explicitly anti-abortion. Like there's probably they share the sentiments and stuff like that, but I don't believe in any world they're going to create a federal abortion ban. I think they just did the correct thing, which was interpret the Constitution accurately. That Roe v. Wade was a misinterpretation of the Constitution. And they left it up to the states, and it's the states decide. I think they're going a little far with it. I think like Texas is going a little nuts, but it's the state's right to do that. And if you have a problem, go to your state, right? Like it shouldn't be a one size fits all for the entire country. 350 million people, probably a lot more with all the illegals coming under Biden. It's true. But it's a lot of people here, and it's like, there's just different. It's not a one size fits all. I mean, the entire point of this country was that it was a republic. Right, and it was a constitutional republic. It had like a very limited set of federal laws that applied to the whole country, and pretty much everything else was left up to the states. So I don't know. When people make that argument, I'm like, I don't need you. First of all, you live in California. You're fine. There's no. They all have it. Like they could kill their toddlers, as I understand it.
Yeah, I think up until like 16 years.
Yeah, exactly. Before they're
It's
full-grown
fine.
adults, you can kill them.
Yeah.
But
No more D's on your report cards, kid. Or that's it.
oh, my dad's out. All right, later, Padre. Thank you for popping in.
Good night, Dad.
Go vote for Trump tomorrow. I know he won't.
The-
I know he won't.
Yeah. Okay. So the thing with can Trump or could anyone say universally no more abortions and
Trump?
or the opposite? Could they say everyone gets an abortion? Or what if you went further and said everyone has to have an abortion? Could you do that?
Mandatory abortion.
Yeah.
No more humans.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have never
Unless-
heard Trump say that. I want receipts.
Unless you're an illegal immigrant, you can't have kids anymore.
I don't believe you. I do not believe that's propaganda. It might be. I don't know. I've never heard him. He says a lot of shit, but I don't think it. I don't think it's that. It's like people want. It's like, oh, it's the right. It's like it was the Supreme Court, and yeah, it was the conservative Supreme Court, but they correctly interpreted the Constitution. That's a good thing. They shouldn't misinterpret the Constitution because you have feelings about it. It's like that's not what that's there for. And the Democrats have been in power since what, 92? Since Clinton, two Obama, one Biden. You couldn't get a federal abortion legal done in that time. Ooh, the right kept blocking it. I mean, I didn't even see it up in the House and the Congress, and I stay up on that stuff. I don't, but they could have done it. They just use it as a political tactic to maintain power. They always have it as a talking point. The right wants to stop your right from killing babies. Don't you want to kill your babies? I don't know. I think it's a weird one, too. Do you think the leftards care about the Constitution? That's a good point there, Sentient Dildo. I don't think that they do. God, I hope we get Nick Weiser in here soon. I've been advertising his name for weeks. He's going to make me a liar.
You know what?
Additionally,
I heard
him.
Gary from Nerdrotic might be here later tonight if you want.
Did you?
Or Joe Rogan. Fuck it. Rogan's
Joe
coming on
Rogan.
the show in
Let's
15
go.
minutes. Stick around.
And Shane.
First,
Pop on Shane Gillis, and we'll have a
fuck
show.
yeah. The first $100 super chat guarantees you the first question to Joe Rogan.
That would be sick.
do
Could
it.
you imagine that if I had Rogan on? The fucking numbers that'd be crazy. That'd be
It'd be
nuts.
It'd be nuts.
That'd be nuts. All right, so I did want to. So here's I had some articles, but I also had. You know what I had? Some interesting election history facts that I wanted to talk about, which I thought was fairly interesting. I don't know if you are a fan of history, Zaxx, but I am.
Oh yeah, love it.
You are. Oh, great.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, this is an interesting fact that I uncovered when I started to think about it. Okay, so in the history of this great nation since 1776, there have been only
1619.
16
right?
exactly right. The 16. These fucking people. There have only been 14 presidents who have served 2 terms in the entire history of this country. 40. What's it? 5? We're at the 45 now. Presidents. Only 14 have served 2 terms. 4 have been in my lifetime. Reagan, Bush Dub, Clinton, and Obama, and maybe hopefully Trump, God willing. But isn't that crazy? 4 of the 14 have been since I've been alive. That's wild.
Well, a few died. So
A few did die.
I don't know if that was on
That's
their
true.
first term or second term. I'm not sure how that goes.
Well, I don't. Lincoln's. I mean, maybe it was Lincoln. I don't know if Lincoln got. Yeah, I think he did get reelected. Yeah, he got reelected.
He was an
during the
asshole
Civil
too,
War.
apparently. Bit of a prick.
Boy, Razorfist hates that guy.
He does.
I watched the video. I've watched it a few times, and it's still hard for me to digest that could be the reality. But he is very, very, very adamant. Has receipts. Has lots of information that kind of blew my mind. I would recommend anyone go check out that video when we're done streaming. Obviously,
He's convincing for sure. So
he's very, very convincing, and he uses a lot of facts. His other video that he did that I love and I rewatch every once in a while is Hollywood Was Always Red. You see that one?
yes, that looks very true too.
So that
It's shocking, though.
That makes perfect sense. Are you being sarcastic?
Well, I mean, no, like I'm not, because you think that I get that it's true and you can see why it would have happened, but it's just you wouldn't expect like the center of business to be red.
Well, that was so interesting because he talks about those like McCarthy hearings that had to go on with Hollywood, and like a few things came out of that. McCarthy never did any hearings on Hollywood at all. It was like some other senator who was actually a Democrat. And additionally, there were communists, like Russia, USSR funded communists in the government and in the entertainment industry. So it's like there's not an unfounded thing. It's like you're acting like it's like, well, you're not allowed to think differently. It's like you are allowed to think differently. But if you're funded by a foreign entity to subterfuge, to do bad things to our country,
Sure.
yeah, that needs to be known about. It absolutely should be an inquiry into that.
What's the word? Sabotage? That's not right. It's not. I think you're closer with subterfuge.
Subterfuge, I think that's a noun, not a verb. Subvert? Let's go with subvert.
Sure.
Subvert will do.
Yeah.
Subvert will do. Yeah.
Abort.
Okay.
Let's say I'd call it abort.
Abort this country.
That's right.
Okay. Another fun fact. So, one of the biggest landslides in election history, one of the biggest ever, was the Reagan in the 80s. Like almost every state except for I think it was Michigan went to Reagan, which is crazy. Can you imagine that? Like, could you imagine if that was the case with this Trump election? Like, if all like blue states, New Jersey, New York, they all go for Trump. Like, that is unheard of nowadays.
I think that's what's going to happen the other way, though. Like, after her first term, Kamala is going to have enough illegal voters, right, to where she's going to be able to do that all over the country. You guys are going to be a blue country soon. And
It's possible.
I'll miss you.
It's possible. There's a lot of there's still. I mean, even if Kamala wins, and dear Lord, let's pray that does not happen. But even if she does, it's not like the Republicans are going anywhere. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like the Congress and the Senate, like all these people, like they're just going to be like, well, that's it. I guess we don't have any more power. They're going to still fight. I mean, you see what Abbott did with the immigrants, sending them up north. Busing them up to Chicago and New York. Such a based move, by the way. So cool.
I'm frozen for everyone else again. This is annoying. I can see it now. I got a monitor up. I can see it now. Yeah, I'm frozen. I'm frozen as fuck. Thank you, Big Ship.
Rants.
Okay.
Timescales is taking off. I like Timescales. Would he be a good guy to have on the show and debate?
Absolutely. Okay. Yeah. Very respectful conversation. Like, it really could have. It could have very easily gone the other way, and I think that I was impressed. I'm supposed to be doing his show. He does interviews at some point here. It's my fault that I haven't done it yet. So
I'd like to talk to him. Hopefully, we can hook that up. But we had what's his name? God, I can't think of his name. Sencha Dildo and Rob. I feel embarrassed that I can't remember his name. But the guy that we used to have on the cocktail lounge, who was like kind of like he was like a lefty guy. Lived in Colorado. Was it? No, not Ruben. No, not Ruben, dude. Don't even bring up Trump to him, dude. He'll fuck you up, dude. He'll throw you through a wall if you disrespect Trump or Steven Crowder.
He'll go after Sencha Dildo even. He has no limits.
Yeah, he sure did. God, I wish I had that clip. Does anyone remember? You guys remember I'm talking about? I'm so embarrassed I can't remember his name. But anyway, we used to talk with him on the cocktail lounge, and he was like left leaning, and we usually just like let him have like a conversation. Oh, Ace Mr. Freeze, that's it, Ace Mr. Freeze. And he was like a great guy. You know what I mean? Like, definitely had different politics than us. Wasn't a pussy about it, but just was like kind of more left leaning, and we would just discuss things with him, and it was thank you, Sencha Dildo, Ace indeed. And that was I appreciate those kinds of conversations, especially because it's like I do want to make sure that like my opinions and ideas are, my own, and that I actually have like a good foundation as to why I think a certain thing. So it's like if someone's going to challenge me on it, we're going to have like a complex conversation about it. It's like good, you know what I mean? Like, that's going to only make me better. Even if I come out on that particular exchange, losing or whatever, or not having good counter arguments or something like that, it's still better for your mind to have to kind of, flex those muscles and dig deep instead of just like living with everyone who you agree with, and just kind of having everything you say validated.
Yeah, there's not much value to that. Like, just the constant pat on the back, and I think that I like to have those conversations as long as they can stay respectful and productive. But like, the thing is that's a lot of that. You say that like it's the other person's responsibility. It's not. It's both of you. So
it is. It absolutely is.
And like, you know what? It's okay to be wrong. if you're not like other people aside from me are wrong sometimes.
Yeah.
And like it's okay for them to admit they're wrong, and I will also admit they're wrong. And
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to have a friendship.
And try to like leave room for it, like respectfully as well. You know, like don't dunk on them for being wrong. Just like if they're admitting it, like let it be. And just like that's the win. You
Yeah.
don't need to have a victory lap. You know, just like accept the win. And yeah, I think that is important. Like at the same time, like it is nice to be around people who think the same way, because when you feel like it's always kind of contentious, like there's like an underlying buzz of like we don't agree with you, like when I was in LA, or like even like in areas in Austin and stuff like that, it's like you feel uneasy. It's nice to be around people where you can just sort of relax and realize like whatever, if it came out that I was a Trump voter, like no one would give it, it wouldn't matter.
It's such a weird idea that that's how it works right now, and I have to wonder, as an outsider, what it will be like going forward. So, in 4 years, no matter what happens, well, I assume Trump, if he wins, he can't run again. If he loses,
Yeah.
he could run again. Is that
He
right?
can technically run again, yeah, but he'll be
Okay.
in his 80s by then. And he already said he wouldn't do that.
What do you think will be the next thing? Because it's really gone to the point where anyone who disagrees with whoever the Democrats have put up as the person they decide should be president is like the worst possible things, and and so Trump, those have stuck to Trump to some extent. Do you think that that will happen to whoever the next person is?
Yeah, if they're really like genuine, like kind of like break from the narrative, break from the norm, like conservatives, like the way, or at least just not cooked, you know what I mean? Not down with like the uniparty kind of thing. Like if they're just a genuinely unique individual that's like untethered, yeah, that person will always be vilified. What I imagine, if the doomsday scenario happens and Kamala Harris gets in office, God, Jesus Christ, I think what would happen would be what they would want would be to cultivate like basically the other side of their own coin. Right, like another uniparty conservative Republican or whatever that like, says the things, is like, oh, I'm a firebrand, but actually is just going to do whatever the fuck the uniparty wants.
Okay, sure.
That would be my guess. But I don't know. I mean, hopefully Trump wins. If he does, they're saying Vance. A lot of people keep saying Barron Trump as like kind of being down the line as like the next, like what's the word? What do they say when when you carry on?
Here's the thing, though.
Succession.
Succession. The Barron Trump, I've been him a little bit, and anyone who's 6'9" and doesn't play basketball, I can't trust. Can you seriously trust someone like that?
He could be a, what's it called? A crew. Big guys do crew, and he's rich, fancy man. So maybe basketball's for the peasants. I don't know.
If you were 6'9" in high school, you wouldn't have played basketball.
Oh, I definitely would have. But I was
Yeah.
working class. I didn't have access to horses and boats.
I don't know. There's something weird about that. I don't know what it is. He could be not good at it. That's okay.
true.
But to just not play it, that's super sus. Maybe like,
Sus, dude.
do we even know those are his real legs?
Is he a cyborg?
It's yeah. What about Don Jr.? Not the blonde one, the other one.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
What about him?
Is he a super tall guy? Oh, what about
he's not
him?
tall, but he's a
You're
pretty
talking about-
president.
I don't know. I feel like he's way more polarizing because I think he says a lot of this stuff that's like a more, not extreme, but more like shitty. You know what I mean? To that, like Trump can't say to
Right.
maintain more presidential. I also don't think he has like the charm. Like there's just something about Trump. Like when you listen to him talk, he's funny. Like he's engaging. There's a simplicity. Like he talks in like, sniper shots. It's like, and there's something about it that's just like, how do you not like this guy? Like he's so fucking funny. People freak out. It's like, oh, because he's gonna destroy your country. He's gonna bring back fascism. It's just like, all right. I mean, he didn't last time.
Yeah, the one thing you know for sure is he's not good. He didn't do that. It's already happened.
It's already happened.
I think that like as an American, I think you guys could have helped him quite a bit with this if you wanted to help Trump. And like all you would need to do, and you'd be perfect for this, Matt, to just be careful with how you use this power, is restart the Nazi Party. And
Wow.
in the U.S. Now, hold on.
Okay.
Follow me here.
We're on my channel.
Right. But But then you call yourself, you change your name to Blitler, we'll say, because it's
Okay.
close but not quite. And then that way, when people are saying Trump's a Yahtzee, you could say, no, he's not. He's not one of us. And they
Yeah,
have to stop that because you go, no, excuse me. You could possibly sue people for claiming he's in your party.
What if I created like the not see party, right? And it's just like I
Sure.
will not see like oppression. You know what I mean? Like I just won't. We just won't as a group. We won't
Just
see
be
it.
careful because you got charisma, Matt. You don't want to win. So I would just be very cautious with that because who really wants to be president after all?
I have no interest in holding any political office whatsoever. First of all, the thing about it is, it's like, when it's like election season and there's these contentious issues, but it's like mostly like bills and, mundane, and it's like written by government employees. So you ever read like a statute?
No.
It's just like, how do you even get through it? Like my brain just starts to shut off. I try. It's like so hard. The wording there's nothing poetic about it. It's so technical and dry and overly detailed, and just there's so much buried in it. Like I don't even know what I'm looking at.
That's how they get passed. Nobody actually reads them.
Yeah.
Like
By
really,
design.
who could read them? I don't even know. Like that could be right. It could be dildo. It could be just Chat GPT all the way.
ChatGPT 2020. Hail our AI overlords.
If
I'm here for
nominated,
it.
I will not run. If elected, I will not serve. There you go.
Yeah. Okay. So we're talking about the historical election facts.
Yeah.
Reagan had one of the biggest ones, but do you know what the biggest one was?
The biggest election whenever?
Biggest election landslide, largest gap in the history of this country.
George Washington.
Technically, that's true, but he ran unopposed.
Okay. So I won.
Well, okay, wasn't the answer I was looking for. Judges? No. The answer is FDR versus Alf Landon, who I'd never even heard of, in
Me neither.
1936. He won 523 electoral votes to Landon's 8. We didn't even have Alaska and Hawaii at that time.
Oh, and that was wasn't his whole thing the New Deal or something like that, or was that somebody else?
That is FDR, indeed.
Is that why he won so heavily? People wanted the New Deal?
I obviously have no idea why. I don't know. I didn't look into it. I was just curious about the gap. But FDR actually held the office 4 times.
When did you put in limits?
Right after him.
Of course you did.
Yeah.
On the way out, he probably changed the rules.
I don't think it ever came up before. I don't think anyone was ever elected for a 3rd term. So I don't think it was ever an issue they ever had to consider. But yeah, he was in office 4 terms. That's 16 years, man. That's a long time. That's a lot of days running the country.
He was itchy to get involved in Europe, so that was good. You guys did that. Appreciate you. I mean, you were a bit late for the party, and it took the Japanese, but the rest of it was nice for you to show up at the end.
Pretty tired of Europe and all their bullshit. I'm pretty tired of Europe and all their bullshit now, to be completely honest. I'm pretty sick of the whole Ukraine thing. Not my issue, man.
Definitely not your issue, no.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. But it's like they had just all, 1939, World War I was only 20 years ago. That'd be like in 2004. We had the worst, most bloody, horrible war you'd ever fought in the history of mankind. You wouldn't be exactly gunning for another one. And then, well,
I don't
they
blame
made
them.
that decision for us. And guess what, dude? What happens when you go mess with the U.S. of A? Well,
Get the horns?
prior to, post World War II, you end up just kind of spending a lot of money and actually not winning anything. But
True.
back then, we kicked some ace.
It's true. You did.
Sure
You did. You did well. And now, look what happened. Like, you guys were, like, you were bros with the Chinese back then.
Yeah, we were. I
You're
think
saying,
that was
stop being so mean to these Chinese, you said.
They were
That's a
pretty
quote.
bad, man. Did you ever? That was straight out of FDR's.
Yeah.
Lips. Did you ever look into any of that stuff? The atrocities, like the rape
Oh,
of
yeah.
Nanking and all that. That is some of the most atrocious shit I've ever heard in my life.
The Japanese were motherfuckers. Can I
Yeah.
say that on your show?
You can say that on my show.
You could argue, and I would argue, they were the worst. I would argue they were worse than the Germans.
I agree. Like when I started like learning about what they did, I was like, yo, man, 2 atomic bombs was like gentle. Like it's kind of like y'all had your
Yeah.
chance at being a country. You got to go. Like you can't be replacing people's arms with their legs and like all this like horrible stuff and throwing up babies and catching them on bayonets. You can't. That you got to go.
It's
That's
done.
it. You had your chance. You know, we'll always remember sushi. Thank you for that. And ta-ta.
Ask anyone who's Filipino how much they love the Japanese.
Yeah, or the Koreans. Koreans not into it either.
They just really did not, and nobody else was any. Well, forget human beings. Like I don't even know what you would call what they thought of everyone else. But it's sub pig level for sure. And yeah, they were absolute monsters.
Yeah.
And then we first pretended it was fine. After we're like, no, don't be racist, because, well, to be fair, you did kill most of them.
We did wipe out quite a few. My grandfather had scored a few kills himself. Foulball's dad.
Attaboy.
He was in Guadalcanal actually as a machine gunner.
Ooh, that was a battle.
Yes, indeed it was. Yeah.
My grandparents fought in Europe.
Oh, the Canadians were they Canadians?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
a lot
they
of
fought in
Canadian
Holland,
action. Kind of unsung Canadian heroes in World War II.
Mm.
Did a lot.
It's because Canadians are monstrous in wartime. We did
It's
like some of
actually
the
super true.
we did some of the worst shit. It's
crazy.
It was super nice, but we just did it anyway.
Everyone's got a breaking point. Don't push Canada to war.
Yeah, there's excuses for it, but and I'm proud of it. I'm not apologizing. For once, I'm not apologizing. But like it was, they were like just complete. You're dead, and it might not be a fun way to go out if we got a hold of you, and that you would be surprised by that. But that's just how it went.
What is he saying, lol? That is your bullshit, Matt? What's my bullshit? I don't bullshit. You know me. I'm a straight shooter, Senshin Dildo. I shoot from the hip, and I hit my targets.
Oh, Matt looked up Unit 731.
He also baited Japan to attack U.S. Now, that is actually true. I didn't realize that. Like, I went to the Pearl Harbor Museum when I was in Hawaii a few months back with my ex-girlfriend. And I went to the Pearl Harbor Museum, and we didn't even have, like, a naval base in Hawaii until we did the embargo, and then we moved all of like the ships and planes and stuff like that to Hawaii. To be completely fair, that's kind of like an act of aggression, right? If you're like moving your, if all of a sudden, when Russia put nukes off the coast, we were like, no,
Yeah,
no,
it's too far.
yeah,
That's too far.
so yeah. But, like I said, I mean, they're having competitions of who can cut the most heads off in a day. Like, you got to stop that.
Oh, Michael Sallow, fellow Canadian in the chat. We were talking about how we were not the nicest people in wartime.
No.
I'm proud of it.
Red Shirt, I don't think Matt ever recovered from learning about it. No, dude, it's fucked up. It's like the Nazis were horrible. They did a lot of horrible shit, but the Japanese, they kind of skate. You know what I mean? You don't really historically think of them as monsters. You're not going to call someone, hey, you Japanese, but they'll call Hitler a Nazi all day. Or Hitler, he wasn't. They'll call Trump a Nazi all day, but they're not going to call him a imperial Japanese, But
They call them Japs. Can you say Japs on
cannot.
YouTube?
No.
Why not?
I mean, I don't know. It's also the real slur for Japanese nip is just short for Nippon, which is it's like
It's what they called themselves. Is that not
not
okay?
that big of a deal. Yeah, everyone gets so bent out of shape about these things. Essentially, Ukraine is American bullshit, Matt. American government and big business bullshit. Oh yeah, for sure. I'm not. Yeah, but like America, right? Like it's not me. It's not people that I know or give a shit about. No, if you even the the liberals, I'm sure there's probably cooked ones, but like, reasonable ones like my dad or whatever. It's like, like he knows that he doesn't give a shit about that, You'd have to be honest. Like, is that a priority for us? And it's like, it's got nothing to do with us, man. But yeah, it definitely is big business and all that shit.
My great grandfather did an interview recording his World War I experiences, and this is obviously way back in the day when he was still with us and still fresh in his mind. And I want to like do stuff with it on YouTube because it's pretty cool. But like his language, I'm really gonna have to work around it because it really was how people talked.
Oh, yeah.
And it was
Not
fine.
sensitive to modern audiences. Oh, no.
Not at all. Nope, didn't care.
No. Yeah. That softening of language, though, it does, I think it does have an impact. Like I remember watching some comedy bit, when I was in probably high school or whatever. And he was talking about the term homeless. And he was just like, oh, the homeless. Oh, okay. Well, they're not bums anymore. Now that they're homeless, it'll all be. And it's like, I guess homeless was a PC term back then.
Okay, and now they're unhoused persons?
Now they're unhoused persons. That's always how it goes, right? I mean, idiot was a medical term, then it's retarded.
Right.
Then it's mentally challenged, then it's differently abled, and then it's just like lovely people who are exactly like me and you.
Right. Except for these factors, which will then use you can check them off on a sheet and they'll give you some bonus points.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe.
Socially.
Yeah.
But I've noticed culturally, gay and retard coming back pretty strong.
I think gay's fully back.
Yeah, gay's back.
I think it's back.
It's fun.
And like up here in our medical, like this has come up through my work and occasionally that retard is still an active label. Like it's
Really?
still a diagnosis. I think they may have changed it from DSM-5, but in DSM-4 it was still what they're supposed to call it. And
It just
so
means slow.
well, yeah, that's what it means.
Yeah.
And that was a diagnosis that you had to. So these people had it, and that's what they were called, and that's how they were filed. And then people who worked with that would try to like soften it, but then there was like, especially the younger people were pretty base and they just called it what it is. This is what it's supposed to be called. And I think it was fun for them to get the reactions from other people who weren't used to that. But what are you going to do? That's what it's called.
Well, there's this concept from like the left that, and I guess there's probably some truth in it, but is that, if you say harsh things or whatever, like that'll embolden people to do then bad things. Like, for instance, I saw my mom, she started watching the news again. I wish she'd stop doing that. I was like, oh, Mom, what are you doing? She's like arguing with me. I'm like, why are you yelling at me? I haven't even said anything. But she's just watching the news, all cooked. The election's approaching. And she was talking about, like, I guess there was some town. It had something to do with, like, the Haitian immigrants. And she read some story and blah, blah. And, of course, it's like the idea is, these people are bad and the Haitians, are innocent and blah, blah. Yeah. And my mom's assertion was that it all comes from Trump's rhetoric. I was like, what if it came from the people in that town? She's like, oh, that's not true. I was like, so none of those people have any individual autonomy to make their own thought and decision and collect data and make assessments. It's only when people it's like they had this whole top-down mentality for their opponents. It's like they couldn't possibly think that without some evil person putting that in their brain.
What's interesting is if you ask I'll talk to your mom too if you want, maybe sometime, but
stay away from my mom, Zaxx.
Just saying, I'll talk to your mom. So, like, do people actually believe that prior to 2016, immigrants got an easy go when they came to the States? Because, like, Italians, I mean, I still don't consider Italians to be really white. But,
me neither.
Like, up until, like, the 70s, they weren't considered white at all. Like, it was documented they weren't. Like, and the Irish, too. I don't know when they got to be white, but they had to work their way up, And
well, the Moors invaded Sicily. I don't know if you know this. It's a historical
fact. Oh, I know
fact.
about it. Yep.
And Moors used to look like wops from northern Italy. Blue eyes, blonde hair. Yep. They did so much fucking with Sicilian women. It changed the whole bloodline forever.
Yeah, now it's corrupted. You could argue.
Hey, I'm Sicilian. You take that back.
Oh, there's too many Sicilians around right now, and that's evidence of that. Also, fun fact: they were also like owned by the French for a while. From Norman, yeah, Sicily, yeah, Normandy.
Sicily.
The Normans conquered it after that.
You
guys got passed around a lot.
I didn't get passed. Look, I'm an American.
I mean, capiche.
My buddy, a friend of mine is from Turin, northern Italy, and he said that like there's such a diversity like in the not like AOC diversity, like diversity of culture in Italy, that it's like you can go from like region to region and they don't understand each other, even though they're both speaking like some Italian dialect.
That's cool.
Yeah, like they were. Italy is as a country is relatively new. I think it's like the 1900s or late 1800s. Like it was all these kind of smaller, segmented, like city-state type regions. I think it's even Mussolini has a quote about that, saying like you can unite Italy, but there's no purpose to it. Like it's just a very fractured, and it's like all those mountains and the valleys and stuff like that. They just separate people, and they separate it for so long that even though they technically share a country, they don't necessarily share a culture.
Right, that's true, and then Spain is like that too.
Pretty interesting.
The Basques are weird, and we were in Barcelona trying to speak Spanish, and people were like mad.
You gotta say it right. Gotta say it right.
Barcelona.
There you go.
They're Catalonian or Catalan or something like that. They don't speak real Spanish, proper
Right,
Spanish, and they're like mad at you. Like, I'm a fucking tourist. Clearly, I don't know what I'm talking about.
I don't speak any Spanish.
Take it easy. Bring me a fucking wine.
Look at Dildo busting out historical facts. 1870, if he remembers correctly. Yeah, still relatively recent in the history of the planet. We'd already been cooking for 100 years, and we're a new country.
Yeah, and Dildo, I don't know. His region's a bit complicated.
Oh boy, he was telling us about it one night. My God, they've been through a lot. Those people. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Poor. I guess that's why they're so like hard Scrabble.
That's got to be it. Yeah, they had to survive quite a bit.
Been through a lot. Balkans have been through a lot. Ooh, you know what I rewatched the other night, which was like, super fun? Speaking of the Balkans, Lord of War.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty good movie.
Right. It's the arms dealer one? Is that the one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Pretty good movie.
I haven't seen that since it was like in the theaters, I think.
Holds up. Not brilliant, but like good and fun. Young Jared Leto's in it too. It's a pretty sick movie. That's all about the arms trade. Kind of loosely based around that. What's the guy? Something of Death, Merchant of Death guy, but not really because he's not from Brooklyn. But
it's a great band.
Merchant of Death.
Yeah,
it's a cool name for a band.
I assume. Yeah.
Sounds pretty sick. All right, back to our election historical facts.
Yeah.
I collected these for this stream. Oh, you know what? I have a message on X. This might be Nick. Nick can't make it.
Is it a dick pic?
No, unfortunately, Nick will not be here. So if you were here for Nick Weiser, I apologize from the bottom of my heart.
Okay.
No go. But when he told me what it was, I was like, that's totally reasonable.
So guys, take a second, please go on Twitter, on X, and message Nick and tell him he's gay.
No, don't do that.
You know what? Gay is kind of a cool term again. Say homosexual.
Yeah. Say zesty.
Ooh.
That's the new term.
Zesty
is the new term. Yes, that's the street term, or the kind of, the cool people term, zesty. I like that one thing. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, the Basques are interesting, dude. Red shirt. Absolutely.
Are an ancient race that predates the Romans.
Nobody can track their language and where it came from.
Same thing with the Celts, yo. What up?
The Celts are based.
That's my lineage. I'm very East Coast, Sicilian, Celtic.
Sicilian Celtic.
Yeah, Irish and Italian. Very New York City suburb, everyone I grew up with was like Italian. I'm just more like, several generations down, so kind of watered down. Still make mean pizza though. Tell you what.
Oh yeah?
Tell you what, yeah.
Is deep dish pizza?
No.
Thank you. Okay, thank you.
What? It's fine. It's not pizza. Like, there's nothing wrong with it, but it isn't pizza.
It's gross.
It's gross. Like, it's not gross. I don't think it's gross, but it's like, first of all, oh my God, who needs that much cheese?
Nobody.
That's an insane amount of cheese. It's like a cheese soup. And there's just
cheese soup and a pie crust.
So dense. Yeah, it's not pizza. Like this concept that's pizza. I'm just like, ugh. No, it's not bad. It's just not pizza. Don't be going around Sicily calling them Italian, Matt. Lol. Yeah, I know. Sicilian. I know. Okay, so some more historical the facts about elections. I thought these were interesting. So in 2008. Now, if you remember, 2008, kind of a contentious time in America. There was still this sort of like more kind of Reagan-esque, like traditional right wing was still kind of very pervasive. It was dying out around this time, but they were kind of the dominant culture, right? Like when you made, music with curse words in it, they were the people who were like put the explicit, lyrics thing on it. They didn't like too much swearing and cursing and sex in their media. And they were the ones. They're the pressure you're kind of fighting against. They had a lot of influence. So you have Bush administration, for all intents and purposes, pretty bad. pretty disastrous. No one's really happy about the war, at a very low approval rating. Okay, so now you've got this shining beacon of hope and change in Barack Obama. And he's very charming. He's very slick. He's got all the right people on his side. It seemed like a good contrast. So there was so much excitement about this guy. And his election, it was very, I think it was still a 2% victory or whatever, but it was very decisive victory. It wasn't really close at all. He had, at the time, in 2008, he had the most votes of any president in the history of this country at 69,498,516 votes. With all that surge, all that push, all that excitement for the future.
Yep.
Did you know the next records were not 2016 when everyone was losing their mind, right? You'd think there's a street war, right? It's a knife fight, between like establishment and Hitler or whatever.
Sure.
You got these two, Nope. The new record was set by Donald J. Trump with 74,221,000 votes in 2020. However, that was superseded by President Biden's vote total of 81,284,000 votes. So even with all that excitement that Obama had and the pretty mid reaction to Biden, I guess this country hates Trump that much that they extra 11 million people voted for Biden over Barack Obama.
Now, is that a population thing?
I don't know how much the population went up in maybe 12 years, something like that.
Illegals, a lot of illegals can vote
Well,
now.
I think that's what we're getting at. That's the unspoken truth here, Zaxx. Kind of shocking.
Yeah.
I do think, if we're being fair, we're being objective, everyone voting from home probably increased turnout.
Right.
Even like all things being like reasonable and fair.
Yeah.
Probably increased turnout because it's a lot easier.
Right.
You don't got to go anywhere. You don't got to do anything.
People are coming back. So this is big shit.
Yeah.
From the dead to vote blue. Yeah.
That's how passionate they were. They literally rose from their grave to save democracy. Because that's who says save democracy.
Matt, what do you think the actual numbers are that? Like, do you think that was a big factor, the dead people voting?
Yeah, I think, it's like when you look at some of the ways like you can vote, like in these, like I had to go and I had to give my passport, you know what I mean, at the Texas library around the corner, which I think is totally reasonable. Why would that not be reasonable? And so, but then you see like in some of these other states, there's literally they're like mailboxes you just drop it off into. I think it's completely plausible and possible that those could have been stuffed. I think that is possible. That's all I'm saying.
I've heard stories from people like Jana, who was here earlier, and she was saying that I think it was one of her deceased family members had in fact voted.
First-hand account, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
I can't recall what the relation was. Could have been like her grandfather, something like that. But that they did receive confirmation that he'd voted somehow, and then
that's amazing.
Yeah, and he passed away like 8 years ago, so he didn't even vote in the previous election, but this one, he rose up and.
I will say the thing about it is I'm pretty convinced that that's what happened. But the thing that I don't understand is like in all this time, how come we can't prove it?
Well, are they not eliminating? Okay, so to me, it seems like they're eliminating ways to prove it. Like if you don't have to, like most countries, we show ID to vote. They go down the list, they find your ID, they remove you from the list, you
even
get your
Canada.
ballot. It's a long process to vote because of that. It's not like we don't have your sophisticated American machines to do it for you, and we don't have pre-filled out ballots like you do. We have to fill them out ourselves. And so like every person goes with their ID. They double check with their list to see your address, you're voting at the right place, and then you get your ballot and they remove you, and that's it. So you could track at least this. All of these people voted because they were all removed from the list and given a ballot. So there's a record of who voted, whoever they voted for. And so if you could then,
oh, that's interesting.
right? So you can then track. Well, there's this many votes were cast, this many people voted, and you know who did or who didn't. But you guys are voting without ID. And so there's no way to know who voted where, when, or what, and you can't track it back after to prove it, which I think is probably the major reason that they want to get rid of ID requirements, not just because then illegals or whatever could vote, but then it doesn't matter if illegals vote or not. You can just add votes, and there's no way to know, did this many people vote and there's this many votes? You guys won't know.
Do you know why that is? Do you know why that is even possible? It's because
racism.
Very much so. This is a racist country, always has been, founded on racism. We all know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you better say it. You better repeat that. But it's because it's not explicitly discussed in the Constitution. So there's no federal mandate. So every state handles elections in their own way, and that's completely federally legal. So that's why it's such a goddamn mess.
And then
I
I
was
guess
looking into it, the history of it. Because I was curious, because it's all you ever hear is, all this oppression, keeping people out of voting. And I was like, what was the deal with that? How oppressive really was it? And it was fairly exclusive for a while, to be completely fair. You did have to be a landowning male, for the most part, to vote. Now, they love to stress the white part. So they say, well, it was mostly white men. It's well, it was mostly white men in the country. So it would
still
be
is.
yeah, exactly. But it would be... Back in the 1700s, it was very much mostly white men.
You can say good old days.
Yeah, back when this country was run right. There were some states that did require you to take a religious test if you were going to register to vote, and there were some that were you can only vote if you're white. It wasn't across the board, but there was a fair amount of that. Now, the landowning thing started to get phased out by the states themselves as the years went on. There was no no federal thing that came in that stopped it. It was just something that kind of naturally just took care of itself. And then it wasn't until – so there were a few different ones, but the biggest one was post-slavery, where it was basically after that, everyone, not including women, but every male – in America. Now, it was also some states you were able to vote as a woman, but it was varied state to state. But all men after that were allowed to vote. And then it was not until the 1900s, as we all know, when this country made that fateful decision that allowed all women to vote. And that's the brief history of voting rights in America.
From what I looked into for that, women got the vote in 1918. Is that about correct?
1918. I think so. Yeah, right around that, yeah.
And then Prohibition was 1920?
Wow. Boy, oh boy.
What a coincidence.
Yeah, they really fucked up. Oh, you know what else we have to thank for Prohibition? Income tax.
Oh, I didn't know that part.
Income tax started in Prohibition because they were like, well, how are we going to make up for all the tax revenue lost from alcohol? And they're like, I had this great idea. We'll just tax everyone's income. And then when the booze tax came back, income tax stayed. What do you know?
Wow.
Ain't that fun? Ain't that a fun little fact?
Yeah, it's something. All right.
But hey, you know what? Probably not going to find out tomorrow, but over the next week, we're going to find out if that may get repealed again.
No.
Let's go. That's what he's talking about. That's what Donnie T was talking about. He's talking about that on Rogan.
Josh. What's up, Josh?
Hello,
Taxation
Josh.
is theft.
Hello. Taxation is theft. Oh, I'm back on liking you.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Last time you were here, you were mocking me for not knowing who that... I already forgot his name. That guy from Top Gun was.
Tom Cruise?
No, the other guy. Remember? He was yelling at me. Were you there for that?
I sure was, and he's right to have done that.
What's his name?
Which guy? Hangman?
Yeah. See, Glenn Powell. I remembered. You didn't. You were pretending you remembered, but you were lying.
Yeah, I was. That's true.
I remember now.
I'm just full of politics right now, so.
Yeah.
Glenn Powell's not telling me who to vote for yet. I didn't see one anyway.
He looks like he's a good Southern boy. He looks like I bet he, probably leans right.
Got a nice jaw.
Good draw, good physique, handsome fella. I'm a fan. I'm just happy you said the guy from Top Gun. Well, now that it's burned into my memory after that exchange, Josh, I'll never forget. I'll never forget Glenn Powell in the he'll be in the Running Man movie, I believe.
I would not pick a fight with Josh.
I won't. I'm scared. And also, I also live in Texas, so he might track me down. But all right, so that's it. That does it for all my facts. I have some other things, closest elections, blah blah blah. But I did want to get, and this is like, just your opinion. That's my opinion. What is your prediction for the outcome of this election? Thank you, Josh. I like my shirt, my shades, and my little koozie. Let's go, America. Fun fact. We'll get to your prediction in a second. The reason I have all this stuff is because on my birthday this year, my ex-girlfriend, we went out on a boat, and the whole theme of the party was America. So that's why I have all this awesome stuff.
So she was fun at one point.
She was cool. I don't say anything bad about her.
No,
we weren't right for each
I
other,
am.
But she had gun owner and stuff like that. Went to the range, kind of pushed me into buying a gun. Flexing my American rights. But
you didn't have a gun?
No.
Why?
No. I don't know. I never really thought about it. Like when I lived in New Jersey, I lived in New York City for a while. That's like impossible. And then I lived in California, and I don't know. I just never thought about it. I just never really did. Once I moved to Texas, I was like, oh, it's so easy. I kind of want to own one. It freaked me out for a while. It made me very uncomfortable having it in the house. Now I forget it's even there, but it's just like for a while, I don't know. It's just like kind of tense having like a. I don't keep it like it's loaded, but not racked. But it's like I don't know. Just maybe a little uneasy.
Dildo's calling you out. So what kind of gun is it?
It's a Glock 40. It's a 9mm Glock.
Why'd
Why?
you get that? Yeah, easy.
Yeah, that's really why. Easy to clean. Easy to use. Very standard. It's a good learning pistol.
Yeah.
9mm is the most available ammunition. So I figured that was the smart move. And
Good pick.
Yeah, I got to go back to the range. I haven't been in a while. I bought a whole box of there's this website called bulkammo.com. Shout out Jake D for that tip. And it's 1,000 rounds of the brass, but for $250. It's pretty good
That's
price.
fun.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oof, where and when were you in California? Yeah, he was in LA. He was in the entertainment business too, just like you, Matt.
We overlapped. Oh, really? Yeah, we overlapped for a while, Josh. I was there. I was in Ventura County in 2011 for 3 years. So I was commuting into LA, and then I moved there in 2014 till the pandemic, till the end of 2020. So yeah, so we overlapped a little bit there, bud. North Hollywood is where I used to stay.
Really?
Yeah.
Not West Hollywood?
No. Not West Hollywood. Oh shit! Did you see that video of that guy who was verbally attacking that woman for wearing the MAGA shoes, saying that she should get
Yes,
draped?
I did. What a fucking loser!
Do you want to know a fun fact about that guy? Turns out this guy is a Hollywood producer.
Of course he is.
Yeah, he is a Hollywood. Oh wait, what did I close that window? Crap, I had it open. Yeah, he is a Hollywood producer, and he produced a military movie, American Sniper, with Bradley Cooper.
What's his name?
Well, I will pull it up right now. Give me 1 second. I got it. Hold on. Here it is. Where is this guy? Alrighty. It's got to be in the Daily Mail. I'm just going to get bombarded with ads. God, I hate that website's good for news, but
Oh yeah.
The ads.
I hear ya.
The ads.
MAGA shoes. Yeah, I didn't know MAGA shoes were a thing either, but I saw that video, and I was like, I am floored. It's evil.
I went to Skank. It is evil. I went to Skankfest, and Aaron Berg, the comedian, had the Trump shoes, had the golden Trump shoes. They're pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She deserved to be raped. I watched the video.
Yeah, I did too.
He did not stop with that. That was not a thing that slipped out once out of anger. He was very much
meant it.
No, listen, you really do deserve this to happen to you. I can't wait for this to happen to you. Almost a threat.
Yeah, I know. And it was crazy too, because once she started filming you, you'd kind of stop with you should be rape shit.
Especially if you're in entertainment, but I guess if you're in California,
Right.
I think it doesn't matter because you're saying the right thing that women should be raped.
I know. Isn't that crazy?
Yep.
Like all they ever talk about is like this women's rights and like they're the compassionate side, and then it's like the second you step out of line, and it's just like I bet this guy doesn't get bent out of shape of all like the the hunched over bums that are like shitting in public in West Hollywood. I feel like he doesn't freak out, but someone who disagrees, well, boy, oh boy.
And like part of that is the rage that they get because like she's their pet. And she's not listening to their masters.
100%.
And like, black folks who disagree, gay people who disagree, like Josh, they get hate. Like more hate than say I would.
Yeah.
Cause like, okay, well he's a dummy, he's Canadian, so fuck him anyway. But,
or like he's a white male, like we know how they think, but
Right.
she's a pretty girl. She's not supposed to think that. These are the Trump shoes that you were asking about, Big Ship. Are those kind of sick? I mean, those are pretty sick shoes, dude.
how did he know they were MAGA shoes?
Well, they're very. I mean, you can't not notice
Okay.
those. They're very like distinct. They're bright gold. You know what I mean? And I feel like someone like that's probably like I don't know. He might be a homosexual. Homosexuals tend to notice shoes. You can confirm that, right, Josh? But I imagine, just spotted it, like the Terminator, like target Trump stuff.
Who's the girl?
I don't know, some fucking hottie.
I was just curious because like she could have if she was a lefty, she would have played that better and played the victim right away. And she didn't. She's like just kind of going back and forth with the guy. And
Pretty
instead, she
badass.
could have been like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you said that." If she broke down and cried and called the police and said, "This guy just said he's going to rape me for my shoes," right?
Right.
That's a different kind of move. That's like sexual jujitsu right there.
Yeah, no, you got to do that. I mean, you got to, play that game.
Yeah.
And, LA women have no problem doing that, in my experience. Her name is Emily Wilson. She is a conservative influencer. She is pretty cute, man.
I can't see
Let's
her.
go.
What's going on here?
Oh,
What are you
sorry.
showing us? Is that your porn collection?
No, I was showing Emily. You asked who she was.
Yeah.
This is the lovely young lady,
Oh, there you go.
Emily Wilson.
look like
Education.
I was looking at an ad for looks like an ad for some kind of facial cream or some shit.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what you had up before. It's
Yeah,
fun
yeah,
though.
Yeah.
She's hot.
So yeah, she's hot. So I guess she's fighting for common sense in Los Angeles. Good luck. I wish you the best with that. What are those?
Yeah, those are sick.
Oh yeah, Josh says, "Dude, I'll never forget the time I walked past a chick shitting on the sidewalk and went in Hollywood." Yeah, they don't really lose their mind about that, do they?
You know what? I went when I've been in LA only once, but like I was shocked by like the homeless situation, but like just the people who live there, like people like the Mats of the world who are Californians and they love everything
Californian.
left and they're great people. Like just the way they're stepping over these homeless people like they don't exist and like being so proud of how great they are to allow them to sleep on their sidewalks. It's like it's the opposite of what it's almost surreal.
Yeah.
And
It's
there,
surreal.
there's guys like not just in doorways, but on in Santa Monica on the pier, like there was like this restaurant which we didn't go into because there's homeless people sleeping on all the steps, and so there was no like safe way to step over the homeless people to get to the restaurant, and like it's not just like the homeless people, but the fact that people there feel good about themselves that this is what's happening, and that they're allowing these people to sleep on the street.
And they're convinced that they're 100% right.
Yes.
And anyone who doesn't think like them is like crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, because there are objects like these people are basically like pylons that they just walk around, and I would bet that if you took that to my guess is you had this similar situation in a smaller town in a red state, people might actually try to help them,
Yeah.
and-
Try that in a small town.
or either way, like help them whatever that may look like, but do something with them. They wouldn't just walk over them like they don't exist, and like I'm not
You do get to the point, because I've lived in New York and LA, you do get to the point where it's really the only way you can survive. You can't concern yourself with these people. I mean, also here in Austin, like I used to work on Dirty 6th Street. 6th Street is like this stretch of bars, and Dirty is like the real kind of it's grungy. It's just raucous and loud, and but there's bums there, and I would walk to work every single day, like, hey man, dude, it's like, leave me the fuck alone, just walking to work, dude. Like I really started to lose my patience with them, but it just becomes like, you know, I have empathy, I feel bad, but they're not really. They're there either because they're crazy or they're drug addicts, and most likely both. And it's kind of like they're sort of choosing this life in a way.
Mm.
You know, there's outreach, there's programs to help, but it's like, I don't know. Ascension Dildo recommended me a book that I thought was really good called San Francisco. It's by Michael Schellenberger. It's about that very subject, about the homeless population and like why it's growing. You know, it's like if the left has all the answers, it's like, well, they're certainly not solving this problem.
And calling them unhoused persons doesn't fix it.
It's so funny when people try to do that shit.
And so at the same time as everyone who's in Santa Monica is feeling good about themselves because there's these guys that are sleeping everywhere, fucking completely like screwed up. No teeth, the whole deal. Wearing jackets a lot, which I found strange.
Well, probably cold because they haven't been nourished by any food except for methamphetamine for several months.
And like it's like it's great, like we're so nice, but then going through Beverly Hills, like you can't even walk around there and without getting stopped by police and having to show that you live there. Like you can't. We took a little tour. We wanted to go walk around after. It's like, no, you can't actually do that because like there's police everywhere in here, and if you're walking around there, they will make you leave. So
Isn't
you're
that
wasting
funny?
your time. Yeah, I'm like,
hilarious?
Are you serious? They have their own police department. A great, nice like fire station too. I saw.
Beverly Hills is beautiful, but it's just like, yeah, I mean, it's like, oh, that's so. It's very much a not like, you know, rules for thee, not for me. They all send their kids to private school too. It's like they're all about big government, public education, public, except when it comes to them.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, so you don't actually give a shit about any of this. It's just all like, it's popular. It's like popular crowd thinking.
Yeah.
It really is, you know. It's like, and if you ever like disagree with people out there here too, but I found it very much in LA. Then it becomes like, then there's girl politics involved, like the social dynamics. Like all of a sudden, then they start talking shit about you, and then they extricate you from the. It's like there's no like honor in the way they discuss things. Like they do intimidate you into just not disagreeing with them because it's like there will be consequences. You'll lose your job, you'll lose friends, you know, if girls you're dating, stuff like that. Like you know, there's pressure to conform, and it's strong.
I mean, you can't wear the wrong shoes.
You can't wear the wrong shoes, or you'll be wished draping upon you. Sentient Dildo shared the Avengers cast assemble video. Have you seen this?
Oh yeah.
I haven't actually watched it. I've just heard plenty.
You can also. I also watched the one from 2016 that they did.
Did
Same
they
people,
do one?
almost the same people, except for people now like James Franco were in it who are since canceled.
Extricated.
Yes.
Out of the system.
Edited out of one of the videos I saw too.
Really?
Yeah, he wasn't an Avengers one, but it was the Hollywood people. Yeah.
Fuck yeah, Josh. Stay strong, bro. Stay based, bro. Stay based, dude. Yeah, no, I haven't seen it, so we can watch a little bit of it. I think I won't have enough. I don't think I'm going to have the stomach to really get through this. This stuff really.
It's so cringe.
Let's see here. Oh, it's muted.
Jumping on the call.
Whoa. I think you mean assembling.
Assembling.
That's pretty good. No, that was funny.
Scarlett, it is our pleasure to come together.
Who's that? Who's that girl on the left?
Michonne, I think. I could be wrong.
The fuck is Michonne?
Might be Michelle Obama. I don't know.
Who's Michonne?
From Walking Dead.
But this is the Avengers assembling.
Yeah, she's one of the bald chicks in Wakanda.
One of the Wakanda women. Okay.
I don't know what her name is. I didn't watch Wakanda Forever, even though
plays-
Josh says it's one of the best. Josh says one of the best Marvel movies. It's one of his favorite is Wakanda Forever, but I haven't watched it yet.
You haven't watched it? Oh, the new one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not watching that shit. She's the general of Wakanda. Wow, he really knows. Okay.
He does. He loves those movies.
Oof.
I love Josh and he loves them. So what do you
Those are pretty bad. I mean, I didn't see the new one, to be fair.
He's mad.
But...
Don't be mad, Josh.
Are you big mad? Are you big mad, Josh? Okay, so she's Okoye.
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 Fucking phonics,
Thank you.
Matt. Phonics.
I don't. That's like I don't. I'm sorry. I'm very bigoted. Look at me. I'm an American, obviously inherently racist.
You're too young for Christian Okoye. That's your problem.
Who the hell is that?
Running back for the Chiefs.
Oh no. Yeah. When was that?
They brought some in the 90s. They brought some African dude over who was like 30. Didn't play football before. He's fucking fantastic though.
Oh, I
He
think
just
I remember
ran
hearing
people
that
over.
story. Yeah.
The Nigerian Nightmare.
Kind of like what's his name, Ngannou.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. Yeah. There was kind of a whole push of that. There was Dikembe.
Dikembe Mutombo. Yep.
Yeah.
He was tall.
He was very tall, freakishly tall, like a spider.
And to get the vote out this election. Come on.
Yeah, how can we be of service?
Well, how about we start with what our voting plans are going to be, who we're going to bring to the polls with us, that sort of thing. Just to,
I think Kamala Harris needs a catchphrase.
Ooh, yes, definitely a catchphrase.
How about this?
This is so uncomfortable. Are they pretending like this is all off the cuff, like it's not totally scripted?
It's a Zoom call like you have with your friends all the time, where there's 12 of you and you're all from the same movie franchises, but none of the new people because no one likes the new people.
I need to quickly Google something.
And what happened? Like Robert Downey Jr. He shriveled away to nothing, and his voice is like raised an octave or two now. It's not the same.
Oh wait, I think I was thinking of someone other than Dikembe Mutombo.
And I hate Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah, he's gay. Spiders are tall, Matt. Too. No. I guess it's not Dikembe. Who's the guy who's like really tall and skinny?
Manute Bol?
Manute Bol. That's it. Manute Bol. Because he's like spider-like. He's like his limbs are so much longer than his like torso. That's why I said that. Okay, big ship with your smart mouth.
I wouldn't say like I wouldn't call him a spider or whatever because it's kind of a bit racist. But
Is it? Because they're
was
no.
tall.
Spiders come in all different kinds. Very diverse spiders. Extremely diverse.
oh, okay,
Yeah. Not a racial thing at all.
they deserve to
Off
die.
the top of
those
my
spiders.
head, I can do this all day.
Shut up. I hate it.
Okay.
I mean, it's original, but
What about something punchier like, oh, boom. You looking for this?
This is so much cringier than I thought it was gonna be, and that's I already had a very low.
Oh, you
bar.
haven't seen this yet?
No, this is the first time I've seen
Oh
it.
my god.
That is brutal. They're like, remember the movies? Go vote for Kamala. Remember?
Yes.
Remember I was Captain America?
That's right.
Vote for Kamala. Oh my word. Oh my word.
You can't say come on.
Iron Man 2, everybody loved it.
okay, again, I think we're just trying to get out the vote.
Kamala forever.
That's better. Okay, how about I'm down with democracy?
Oh, so wait, hold on. So they're advocating for her dictatorship till death.
Yes.
I thought we were the party of anti-democracy.
Yeah.
Very sus. Very suspicious.
Who's
Dictator.
that?
Dictator for life. That is Vision. Paul
Oh,
Bettany.
yikes. Yikes.
Paul Bettany. I like Paul Bettany. I mean, I like him as an actor.
Yeah, he looks like a different person now. Like he's gone
No.
vegan, I think.
A lot of that going on in Hollyweird.
It's just clean, it's simple.
Okay, I like that.
It's hard to argue with that.
Ew,
Kamala
they're going
Harris
with it.
down with democracy.
Oh, yeah. I'm Kamala Harris, and I say down with democracy.
I don't know if that sounds the way we want it to sound, though.
I think we just need.
However, it is accurate.
Yeah.
They are being very precise. I do think she would prefer if there was no democracy, and I think they're going to do everything they can to make sure it can't play out the way they want it to.
She would like simple democracy. She doesn't like a republic, a representative republic. She's not a fan of that stuff.
Right.
She's more of like, California and New York can pick our president. That's
exactly.
What her deal
That's
is.
100% what they want.
That's what happened in Canada, by the way. So take that as a warning because Quebec and Ontario elect our government every single time. By the time, because of the time change, time zones, by the time I vote, and by the time Vancouver for sure votes, it's already over. Like they've already called the winner.
That sucks.
So enjoy that, guys.
Yeah,
It's your-
popular
you're up
democracy
next.
is terrible. I mean, even the Greeks who invented democracy did not favor just completely unfettered, everyone gets a single vote. The mob rule is not a good way to run a country.
No, because the majority can be dumb.
Yeah, and they are, and they'll be misled very easily.
Yeah.
Can we get some production though?
Jarvis? My name's not Jarvis, but whatever.
Oh yeah, that's right. Down with democracy.
Down with democracy.
Is that what we mean, Mel?
Yeah, together we're gonna tear down democracy.
Will you stop playing heroic?
I mean, you actually, yeah, you are gonna do that. You're gonna tear down people's individual right to elect who they want. I think you're actually spot on. You kind of nailed it. I think.
But when you look at these guys like fake threatening with the down with democracy stuff, you look at them and like these are the Avengers, and these are like this is like they've collected a group of the least frightening people ever, the least intimidating for sure, and said these are like the heroes at this point. Like Don Cheadle scares nobody. Don Cheadle,
No.
I mean, Terrence, who was the other
Howard.
guy?
Terrence
Yeah,
Howard.
he's scary. I don't want to fuck
He's
with that
scary
guy.
with his ideas. Yeah,
Yeah, and he's probably got a gun.
eyes
He's-
roll around in his head.
Yeah, these guys are like the most vanilla as a group, and they're all like in their 50s, 60s, maybe 70s at this point.
Yeah.
And like Scarlett, she has to go stand outside now for whatever reason. But yeah, it's bad.
Probably there's a giant Trump flag in her living room that she can't show.
Mark Ruffalo,
Colin Jost. Colin Jost, big Trump guy. Nah, probably not.
Music under yourselves.
I mean, seriously, they really, whether they thought it or not, they can't think it publicly. It would be career suicide. Like, it's like, this is like the trappings of like, going to some sort of event and glad handing. You know what I mean? It's like, that's what this is. Like, it's just like, yeah, well, I will just, honor my overlords, which is like powerful people. So powerful people want Kamala in office. I thought it was about the little guy.
And they were going after everyone too, like any kind of influencer. There was people who were popping up, whether like I don't know how true this stuff is, but showing emails to show like what they were offered to say what about Kamala Harris and like how many times, and they were getting other offers as it went along to like have to do less. Like, would you consider doing a post saying that you support this about Kamala Harris? And so the money is out there and it's flying around for all of these people, and so these guys must have got paid decent. We've got Julia Roberts doing one, which was super cringe. Well,
Yeah.
You saw that in George Clooney. The other one also super cringe.
Yeah. Kamala, by the way, I am for sale. So, make an offer. You know what I mean? We can do some business.
Me too.
I am for sale. I'll take these American sunglasses right off and I'll put on the CCP ones. You know what I mean? And I'll just be like, fuck America, right? What's the check?
I've been collecting write-in ballots from old folks' homes all through Minnesota and North Dakota. So I've got
Good
a stack
man.
of them over here.
Good
and
man,
they haven't decided who's to vote for yet, but they're signed.
Okay. All right.
So call
Good.
me.
Yep. Now we can work out something. Let's talk.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I am down with democracy. Did I sound enough like her on that one?
That was great. How many Golden Globes have you been nominated for? I'm just curious.
Yes! All right, that was awesome.
Oh, that was the opposite of awesome, Robert.
That's the guy that's saving Marvel with his Doctor Doom.
Boy, that sucked. That was way worse than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be all like serious, and just kind of like, listen, the fate of the energy, you just don't want to hear it. But then they're trying to be quippy and cute. Eat shit.
Laughing at your own jokes is cringe.
I mean, I do that all the time, so.
Anyway, you're fine.
I guess I'm
Damn, see what's up. I mean, yeah.
I said it because I thought it was funny,
based.
so I
You're based.
laughed at it. See, just did it. All right. Anyway, query. Oh yes. I want to get your prediction. Who do you predict, honestly, will win
Yes.
this election?
So, like, for honestly, having thought about this quite a bit because it's all anyone's thinking about, is I think that if this were a real election, and that's not a big statement, but I really do think that Trump would win the election if it was honestly managed, and I can't imagine that's going to happen. So I think there's already been, I think Josh was talking about some fishy stuff that's already been going on, and I just don't trust your system anymore for that. So I think Kamala will win based on that. And because last time there was all this weird stuff happening and no one did anything about it. So that's the other part.
Yeah.
There's people saying no. If it's screwed this time, we're going to. I don't know if that's going to happen either. I think a lot of people are probably just going to take it.
Yeah, we'll see. I would tend to agree with you. I would say fair election. Let's go. It's slam dunk. Not even really a thing. And I still think, even with that, I don't know. I'd like to believe that Americans, and there's enough Americans out there who are sensible and will vote, especially in swing states, hopefully, and will do the right thing. I think Trump getting shot, you know what I mean, and the other assassination attempt carries a lot of weight, and maybe a third. I think that like those are big. It's like they don't talk about it anymore. If it was Biden, they'd still be talking about it. They'd still be like, this is what the opposition will do, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, yeah.
But I still think all that, honestly, I still think Trump will win. But I was listening to the Boys Cast earlier, and at the end, Danny Polishuk made a really good point. And he was saying about how they're talking about getting rid of like $2 trillion of spending in the government, and how they want to get rid of income tax. And there's so much attached. There's so many interests attached to that money that are very powerful and very wealthy that I think they're going to try to do anything they can to hold on to that power and position. So that very dark truth kind of made me like a little uneasy. Like I said, I still think it's going to be Trump, but it wouldn't shock me to see it go the other way, even though I'd be really upset.
The thing is really a lot of it was listening to Musk, which like I don't really follow a ton of his stuff, but just the way he lays it out, that this is really the last. This is likely the last American election that will matter.
I don't think that's crazy when they say like this election is like the most important one ever. I genuinely believe that this time,
and that's why I would think that people on the left would do whatever it takes to win this one, knowing that if they win this one, game over to an extent.
Yeah, never.
Or at least possibility that's what it is, and they know it. So they're right. They're at the goal line. So, you put Jerome Bettis in the game, I guess.
Put the old bus in.
That's right.
I hope that it works out the way it should.
I hope I'm wrong and that you guys
Yeah, I
can
hope you're
trust
wrong,
your systems.
But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of suspicious stuff. We'll see. I don't know. There's no way we can know.
No.
We'll find out tomorrow. I'll probably be watching some of the streams and everything, but I'm going to a comedy club in the evening and just gonna check out of that. I'm sure there'll be lots of political material like in the show, but I'm excited to go at least. Just fuck it, whatever. Now it's just out there. I already voted, so if you guys don't forget to vote.
And the whole thing with Kamala getting the nomination, all of that was like against the rules and super weird already.
Yeah.
Like that whole thing where, because she wouldn't win a primary, and so they do the whole dog and pony show with Biden, which I don't believe they ever intended to let him run all the way, but they let him fall on his face, which they didn't last time. So they could then just give it to her because only she can access his money, and that's all the excuse you need. Like, that's weird. And if it was, I think, the other way around, from what I understand from talking to you guys, people would be up in arms about, you can't just say Trump is the nominee now.
Yeah, they just hate him so much that they're willing to overlook stuff like that. They did that in 2016 with Hillary, right? It was like they forced out Bernie because Bernie was a pretty favorable candidate, and then like in their own institution got rid of him. So it's like people overlook this stuff. It's just crazy. I don't know. Like I said, I'd like to believe that everyone's like, because I've seen a lot of posts that were like, I can't afford groceries. Like, I don't care about all the other bullshit. I'm broke and I'm hungry. Like, this can't continue. Like, and it wasn't like this 4 years before. So, can we fix that, please? So, I don't know. We'll see.
Copa in the chat here. So, but I don't know if he's joking though. Copa, I don't know. Is that?
I think he's kidding.
No.
He begged a dead man not to do it.
Well, he didn't beg him, but whether his late father did vote,
it's very possible.
The whole thing it's all weird, and you guys are kind of important to the rest of the world. So hopefully, you have a fair and honest election.
I hope so, man.
Yeah,
God, I really hope so. It's gonna get weird if we don't. But anyway.
Yeah.
That's going to do it for this pre-election stream, everybody. I thank you all for joining us. Thank you very much, Zaxx, for the raid. That was very generous of you. Thanks. And additionally, it was great to have you here, man. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was awesome. Thanks for having me on. It's been been a while. I'm glad you're back doing your thing again.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I'll have a sketch tomorrow.
You better have that fucking... No, you won't for tomorrow. It's the election. You're not going to have the sketch done.
No, I mean, what am I going to do? I don't have to go do anything.
You want to compete with the election?
Yeah, it is a weird one to compete with. But I feel like if I put it out any later, it'll be irrelevant.
Fair.
I really wanted it out today.
Yeah.
But I just didn't have the time.
Just put lots of like election-related tags in it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'll game the system, bro.
Oh, yeah.
I will game the system. You better believe it.
That's right.
All right, folks. It's been real. Thank you guys for watching the MFer Podcast. Once again, this show is available anywhere you get podcasts. It'll be out tomorrow on iTunes and Spotify and all that type of stuff. So if you have it in your heart to go over there and give that a 5-star review, I'd really appreciate it. Helps the numbers, helps more people get the show. Hopefully, success. YouTube, Rumble, Twitter, it's all Foulball Pro, all that good shit. Zaxx, anything to promote?
I'm going to be on Leon's show tomorrow, election coverage, and over on my channel, 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. Central on Wednesday, my channel, What's Good Wednesday. And Copa is confirmed unfortunately, his father did vote.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. No joke, my dad was still on the voter rolls in California before I left. I could have easily voted for him. Oh, yeah. I mean, would have been, standard practice as far as California elections go.
But thanks for having me on.
Yeah, fuck yeah, that was a ball.
Yeah.
Definitely got to do it again.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Got a little something for you at the
Blame
end.
Canada.
So don't leave just yet. There's a little something, a little taste in the end here. All right, y'all. Be well.
President Donald Trump for the remainder of the show. This is one of those moments we will never forget. Oh, there's the lovely Heidi, everybody.
Oh, hey. What a great lady. I talked to her backstage, and wonderful woman. The tits are real. Excuse me. A lot of people are saying her tits are fake. They're not fake. I touched them, and great tits, wonderful tits, American tits, and that's the thing that we've lost under this administration. Where are the American tits anymore? 4 years ago, there were American tits. Now there's no American tits. Mexican tits. Mexican tits are streaming up the border, and no one's stopping it. Fentanyl tits. Fentanyl. Unimaginable what's happened to this country.